if you're making reservations to a Walt Disney World resort anytime in the near future, or perhaps they've stopped testing these and these are fully out there, these are MagicBands. Currently, there's one of two ways to get these. These are part of a package deal if you stay at a Walt Disney World resort, or there is the other way of purchasing standalone MagicBands at any of the Disney parks. However, if you are staying at a Walt Disney World resort and getting the MagicBands, you'll have a selection of colors. Right now, you can see these are the red and blue versions. This was mine and my wife's when we went on our vacation. You can customize them, I believe, up until 30 days before the trip, by which I mean you can turn them around there, and where I have my finger is where you can put a name on there. You can put any name you want on there. They are sizable. I'll just use mine for the time being. This gray bit here pulls off if you have a smaller wrist, generally for child-sized wrist, because I have very, very small wrists, and I was still able to wear the MagicBand with the gray attached. I think I did, yeah, I did pretty much the last bit of the gray, and I was able to wear it without any problems. So my MagicBand here is one of many things. It is your room key, and that's very important if you're staying at Walt Disney World Resort. You don't have to carry a card like you would get at other hotels or an actual key. This is your key. The one problem I had with it was I was wearing it on my left wrist because I had a watch on my right wrist because I didn't want to have both of them on the same wrist and risk scratching up my watch. When I tried to access the room, the wall that the doorknob was close to, the doorknob was close to the wall, so it was difficult for me to use my left hand and the MagicBand correctly. This will also hold your tickets to any of the parks that you have. So again, no paper tickets, no digital, everything is kind of moving to digital, which is in some ways good, in some ways bad. But you put your tickets on here, and when you get to the front gates, now I didn't film this part because there's lots of people who filmed it, and I just didn't. You put Mickey to Mickey, and the little light on the one Mickey starts glowing. You touch your finger to another pad, and boom, your tickets are good. You go in. If you have a park hopper, you can jump from park to park doing the same thing. Now keep in mind, if you're going back into the park or you're using the park hopper again, use the same finger that you used when you first did it, or else it won't work. I learned that the hard way because one time I had this on my right wrist and I used my left finger, and then I tried doing it the opposite later in the day and it didn't work. This is also how you can keep track of your fast passes. So you can have up to 3 fast passes in a single park for a day. Now, some of the parks have tiered fast pass systems, meaning you can't get 2 of the same level. So you can't have Soarin' and Test Track. Those are 2 top tier items. They make you pick shows and something else. You can change your fast passes on the fly or using a kiosk. So you either use the Disney My Experience app for Android or iOS, or you use one of the kiosks, or find somebody with a tablet, one of the cast members with a tablet, and they'll be able to help you change your fast passes. Now, we had 2 different experiences with changing a fast pass using the MagicBand. One was we changed a fast pass using the My Magic Experience app on our Android phone, and we did change an attraction and time to something else. However, it did not show on the My Magic app for like 2 hours after the event actually happened. And when we looked at the My Magic Experience app, it was telling us that we couldn't make any changes because a change had already been made. So we took our chances, went to the attraction, which was the Haunted Mansion, and tapped our thing to see if it would work. And it did work. So it didn't show that we had made the change in the app until 2 hours later, but we were able to go on and, you know, make that change. Instead of going on one ride, we went on another ride. We also had the experience of one of the fast passes that we set, the new minecart, Sevendorf minecart ride. That fast pass got changed. We got a notification both via email as well as in the My Magic Experience app that the ride was down because of maintenance issues during the time that we had picked a fast pass. So it gave us a free fast pass that we could use any time of the day. We could pick the attraction that we wanted to, or we could just go onto an attraction during the allotted time frame that the minecart was set for, and we'd be good to go. It was good. The new fast pass was good for the entire time the park was open, so that was until like 7 o'clock. You can also make payments using the band here. If you set it up that way, you tap at the register, again, Mickey head to Mickey head, and then you have a pin that you have to input. You can also set limits as to how much you want to be spending in a single day. So that's awesome to keep track of. Now, the MagicBand works via what's known as NFC, so that's a near field communication. So that means there's a little microchip behind this Mickey head that talks to other items when it gets into close proximity. Now, there are scanners or readers that you can buy, or if you have a smartphone with NFC, you can actually scan the band. Now, I, being the type of person I am, scanned the band just to see, both before and while we were at the parks, to see what kind of information was actually stored on the band, because God forbid you lose the band. Now, you won't really have any problems with the band once you snap it shut. I've worn it all day. Every day that we were there, I took it swimming. It is waterproof. I wore it in the shower, wore it on all the rides, and had no issues. So, with the speaking of NFC and the chip inside here, there's very little information that's actually stored on the band itself. What it actually is doing is talking to servers at the Disney parks, letting people know that this band is you, and these are the tickets that are on it. So when I scanned the band when we were at the park and the tickets and all that were attached to it, none of that information was actually on the band. It was all talking to local servers at the Disney park, so you don't have to worry about somebody getting your credit card information off of here or finding out where your room is. All that it'll have is your name, and that is it. Now, with the tracking, that was a little creepy at times. We ate at Belle's Castle for lunch one day, and the server said to make sure that we had the band that we scanned when we first got in there on the table when we went to eat, because they tracked us down in that large area and brought us food right to the table because they were able to find us on the band. Now, when we were on some of the rides, they also tracked us. If you have the My Photo Plus experience, or even if you don't, if you went on a few of the rides that have pictures, not all of them do this. Right now, the ones that we did were like Test Track Splash Mountain, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and a couple others. They knew exactly where you were on the ride because of this. So without us saying anything, we had those pictures sent to our profiles, our accounts online for us to view afterwards. And that's all because of the little microchip that they're tracking in here. If you take any surveys, they scan your band and say, do you want us to attach this to the band? Because then they'll keep track of, who you are exactly. Now, part of me thinks that they can also track how many times you open up the app, as well as your location in the park with these. So, I mean, it's a concern, but not a concern. It's cool, but kind of creepy at the same time. Just know that that's there. It's something to think about. Now, people who are at the resorts are not the only people who can get the MagicBands. Like I said, you can get several colors. You can also buy these in any one of the shops. And generally, you'll get stuck with the gray one if you buy them in the shops. However, they have different types of bands that they're trying to introduce. So if you get like your custom gray one, that's a basic band, that's going to be $12.95. If you go for a upgraded band, so something that's got like a picture, it's a different color, so you'd have like the ones that I saw while we were there were blue and had a picture of Elsa or Anna from Frozen on it. Those were like $19.95, and they had limited release ones. So we went during the Halloween time. The limited release ones were $24.95, and they were gray, but they had like the eyes from the wallpaper in the Haunted Mansion. So if you kind of like that, you could do that as well. And again, you can transfer any tickets that you have onto the MagicBand once you get it. A cast member will walk you through that. They also, because it's a plain band, they've come up with different things that you can put onto your band. So there's these things called bandits, and they're little picture, or they're items. I'll roll in some pictures that you put into the holes here, and you know, they're varying shapes, sizes, colors, things. The general pricing is you can get 3 bandits for $6.95 or 4 bandits for $8.95, and like I said, you can dress up your thing. If you've got the gray holes there, you get more little things to dress up. But if you have, like I have, the smaller wrist, you kind of have less bandits to play with. As you can see there, I have all of the red, and if you have child's wrist as well, you'll have even less. But you know, it's something to dress it up. With that said, they also have something called sliders. So those are things that you take, and on your open one here, you just slide it down. We got one here. The sliders are just like these rubber things. We got one because my mother-in-law, who made the reservations, is a Disney Vacation Club member. So we got these Disney Vacation Club ones. You can just slide them on, and that's what a slider looks like. Sliders go from $12.95 for 1 or $14.95 for 3. And they're, again, varying shapes, sizes, things like that. You have a plethora of choices to choose from. And the last thing are covers. So covers are, they slip over the entire band and range from $6.95 for 1 up to $15.95 for an assortment of 3. They do have both regular, or they call them large, and kid sizes. Large will be the ones that fill up the gray as well, and then kid sizes are just, you know, the colored part there. Now, I did neglect to mention when I was talking about the fast pass usage of the bands. You will, again, like you did when you first went into the park, touch the Mickey head to the Mickey head, but you won't have to use your finger. But you'll have to do that twice. Once when you first get on the fast pass line, and then a second time once you're further in. Just, they're trying to make sure that nobody's line hopping. One of the interesting parts is, you might not notice it, but if you listen, if you look at, especially like during the fast pass one, the second one you hit, you can hear it a little better because there's not going to be as many people around. There's 3 holes across the top of the Mickey head that you're touching, this Mickey head too. And I am fairly certain that that is a speaker of some sort, because I watched some video say that, you know, they heard their name said. When I did it on the Haunted Mansion, I heard like howling or the wind blowing, and it was far enough away from the area where you would hear that I'm fairly certain that it came out from the little fast pass thing. So if you're there, listen really carefully, let me know, because I would like to know if I was just hearing things or if it's actually like a legit thing. So that's a quick rundown of the MagicBands and My Magic Plus, and you know, everything that I could think of. I'm doing this after the fact. You know, I thought about doing this while we were there and just did not have time, as it was my first time, and my mother-in-law kept us on a crazy schedule of doing all the time. So if you have questions or comments or want more information, or you want to leave me information, because that'd be awesome too. I do realize that this looks orange, however this is a red band, but don't know why I said that. You can leave that in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.